Ah, good. You're awake. No, you're not dead. And this isn't heaven. You're alive and well. Right. I do have wings, but I'm not an angel. Father from a demon too. This is not a dream either. Again, I'm not an angel. I'm an elf. I suppose you're still not all the way there. Do you remember where you were before now? Now you're at a hospital in Scotland. Oh, careful. You still might not be up to full shape. Hold on. Just relax. I can explain what happened. I just need you to calm down first. Yes, I can see that your body is now made of metal. There is an explanation I can give. No, you are not dreaming, and this is not a hallucination. This is magic, and you are now magical. No, I am serious. I would not advise you trying to hurt yourself because of that. Your body is now made of a special metal that reacts reflexively to anything it comes in contact with. Against other objects, you can do a great deal of damage. Against yourself, you'll end up flying across the room. I can't turn it off, but you can. Just focus. Grab my hand and I will help you up. There you go. See? You're fine. I'm afraid your appearance cannot be helped. Before I explain, please, just sit and take it easy. Thank you. First of all, do you remember where you were? Right. And did you come across a lake at some point? What do you remember about the lake? I see. That's very vague. But that would be in line with what I have to tell you. To be frank, you went into a place where there is what we call alchemy. It is a force of raw magical power that changes anything within it. You were found at a lake, and according to when you were last seen, you might have been there for at least a full night. Yes, magic is real. As you can see by my appearance, the supernatural is also real. No, this is not a bit. No, I do not wish for you to pull on my ears to check. You just touched me to confirm I was not a hallucination. No, I can assure you that I am not, and you are at least somewhat coherent enough to realize that. Yes, it is as I said, you are talking to an elf. I am aware that my appearance does not match what you might call an elf, but I am one, and you are what we call a Bane. Not quite in that way. You're not the bane of anyone's existence. Hopefully. But you are someone who's been touched by magic and changed to become what you are now. As you can see, your skin is made of steel and your body is near indestructible. As such, you are what we would term as a bane, since you had not been like this before. When I say we, I mean the Bacchanalia, the magical subsets of the population. I can explain that to you later. For now, I need you to understand the nature of your existence. I mean that this is permanent. Yes, alchemy is a force that is much more complex than magic. The latter is already quite unknown to the minds of our society today, and the former has yet to be understood even by the most basic sense. I am explaining this because you must know that the situation you are in now isn't reversible. We hardly have the knowledge or the means to attempt it. Please, calm down. Yes, you can go back to your normal life. In time, you can still live like you used to. But I cannot say when. Your family is being briefed on your situation as we speak. You cannot see them yet. Because as far as they know, you are comatose after nearly drowning in a toxic bacteria-infested lake. And as far as it goes, you will not be able to visit them until your condition can be managed. There's just no other way that we can refer to this, and the details around it are complex. Yes, this is a government secret due to the nature of how the Bacchanalia exists. We cannot allow you to simply act as you would and threaten the nature of many other people's lives. It is not fair, but it is the way that we live. Sometimes, in order to help the many, the few must come to terms with the situations they find themselves in. No one is trying to take away your humanity, but I am trying to tell you that because of how we found you, your life can never be the same. No, and I would never want this for anyone. I am grieved that this happened to you, and I take some sense of responsibility for it. From your last accord, you had gone out urban exploring, as was your hobby to do so. But your memory is hazy in regards to how you ended up where you were. The lake you were found at was the very same lake at which Excalibur was put to rest in, until it would be recovered during a time of need. I would not be able to say if you are part of some prophecy. I hardly understand their nature as it is, and I had thought that it pertained to me alone. How familiar are you with medieval folklore? Yes, as in knights and dragons. To help you understand better then, as King Arthur was gravely injured in his final battle, he had ordered for his sword to be cast back into the lake from which he had received it. Then he sailed on a boat to the Isle of Avalon, where he was not seen again. You are bound to Excalibur. Your flesh is now made of its steel, and though we do not know how this happened, We know that as far as we can see, you and Excalibur are one and the same. To answer your question, no, I cannot reverse this despite Excalibur having been mine. It is not within my power. Yes, it was mine. No, the sword had not been used since it was cast. And to grant you more clarity, I have been its one sole wielder. I am Arthur Pendragon, former King of Camelot, and I believe that it is my actions that have unwittingly caused your dilemma. By Merlin's hand! Yes, I did cause this, but I did not mean to. Please hold on before things escalate any further. Yes, they can if you attack me again. I will not fight you, but my security detail will apprehend you until you can be calm again. I know that this is a lot to take in at this time. I had no way of knowing what the sword would do centuries after I had cast it away. Well, would you assume that throwing a sword into a lake would fester a magically radiated zone that no one could enter without precaution? I did not know that the sword's magic was that strong. I was dying as I ordered it. I don't look dead because I am not. Elves do not die the same way that other humans do. Oh, I will explain it. But please, compose yourself once more so I can better get you up to speed on what your options look like.
Appear to be quite versatile, and after a couple of experiments, I have a better understanding of how magical fighters are able to use it to access their magic, if you can even call it that.
You are supposed to be ready for your meeting. I have a call with Anvil Industries.
Fuck them.
Focus. After my call, I need to organize our schedules for the week to manage our public media debut as a company.
That is, of course, if you don't mind working with me.
I would love to.
We need to get back here.
Oh, what do you mean, safe?
Don't worry, just come back so we can take shelter.
What is going on?
And that is how magic and the magical world works. I'd say that it's a little better than how the Citadel works, considering a few differences between the two. There are a few drawbacks, but they are only there for the safety of the magical people it was created to protect. You could say that I am taking responsibility for my actions. Yes. It means that I will be overseeing your care. As Excalibur's wielder, it was my task to ensure that it was used for nothing but the good of others. As you are now bonded to it, it is now my responsibility to ensure that you are now capable of re-entering the world once more, safely. No, I do not see you as my project, nor as a child. You are simply... I am choosing my words properly, I assure you. You are still a person. There is no doubt of that to me. But I hope to make up to what has happened to you. And part of that is understanding the person that my actions have affected. So may I start by knowing your name? It is a great name. No, you will not need to address me as Your Majesty. I have long since left my position as a monarch for the betterment of my country. Arthur will do fine. What happens now is that I await your discharge papers, and afterwards, I will take you to our new home where I will be overseeing your care until you are familiar with the magical world. As I said, I will be overseeing your care, but not your education. Once you are deemed to be fit in the body, you will be attending a magical university that I will be paying for you to be accepted into. It is quite the establishment. I find it to be an enlightening experience. I am afraid that you will need to attend the school. In addition to your changes, you have inherited the abilities of Excalibur, and that means you will need to be trained on how to hone those abilities. I cannot do that for you, but I can help in securing you a means to do so. I promise you that. I know it's not the most ideal of situations, but there is something to be gained in knowing how to navigate your new world, and I will help as much as I am able to. But ultimately, I cannot be there to show you how to wield your power, and if I am to see that you can return to your life once more, then this is the best chance of doing that. Welcome to your new home. It is more yours and less mine. I already have a home where I take up residence in London. For the duration of our time together, this is where we will stay. It has more than enough room, I promise you that. The estate is enchanted to respond to myself and my guests. Should you need something, then the magic within the manor will respond to you. All you need to do is call for it. There is no staff here that presides at present, but in the event that a warder comes onto the property, there is a glamour channeled into the very grounds that will create an illusion of normalcy. You will appear as a normal human, and the estate will appear staffed as is appropriate. Oh, I was gifted the land by the Prime Minister of the Saura state, after I became an official in Parliament. Yes, I am part of this country's Parliament. That is why I said I would not be available to you as I'd like. I am the Minister of Defense for the state. Yes, for the state of Saura. No, it is not another name for Scotland. Saura is a Fae state that resides within Scotland. It's made from a rift where magical people primarily reside. The glamour channeled into the grounds is purely a precaution. No, I don't quite entertain a lot of guests here. Like I said, I mostly reside in England. I can't say why. I suppose I feel better being there. As we've established, yes, I used to be King Arthur. I used to be, because I no longer am. Ever since I returned, I have just been Arthur Pendragon, the Minister of Defense in the Saura state. It is a good change of pace from once having been a king. Less responsibility, and more freedom in some ways. I do not miss it. I am more at ease as I am now. What's the matter? You keep looking at me. I assume you have more to say. You are free to speak. As a part of our new dynamic, I would like you to be more comfortable voicing your concerns, so that I might try to amend them if I can. It does not matter what it is. I'll see how I can help. Excuse me. You truly are a daredevil. No, I understand why you ask that question. I just don't think that I've ever had someone ask me why I was black. I assure you I've made no judgments on you. I do understand why you did. To answer you though, due to my complexion and my hair, they deemed my appearance to be better suited as a white man, for the sake of what history would remember me by. The man who people will remember is not the man I am. We are two different people now. No need for alarm. It'll be tidied in a moment. Let me show you to your room. This would be it. No need to worry about finding the restroom. Each bedroom comes with a bathroom of its own. You can find it nearby. It is good fortune that we find ourselves with a place to stay while we get you accustomed to your new status. There is more room to experiment with your abilities without doing harm to anyone. Even if we had needed to move to my home in England, we would not have needed to worry about that. I assure you that I would have had the space to accommodate you otherwise. Ah, I see. I assure you that I would not have needed to ask anyone to grant you accommodations in my home. No. I live alone. Dinner will be prepared soon. Tomorrow we'll discuss your attendance at suite following next week. I know you meant nothing by it. I take no offense to what you said. You simply asked a question, and I answered. You have nothing to worry about. I've been alive for many years, and I have had many lovers and friends. My choice to live alone is informed by experience and having done the opposite. Wash up before dinner. Greetings. I hope you find what has been prepared to be to your liking. No, I'm used to more humble meal preparation, but I assumed you might like to be dazzled to start things off. I'm glad to see that I was correct. Let's not put this magic to waste then. Yes, magic. The food was prepared by the magic of the estate. I assure you that it is safe to eat. It is made like any other meal. I'm sorry about the awkward silence. As I said, I'm not used to entertaining guests. I could not tell you how long. Certainly a lot longer than I like to admit. Do you mean my nights? No. Most of my round table were mortal men. Besides some of their deaths coming at the hands of their service, those who survived died of old age. Their legacies have either run thin or disappeared at one point or another. All that's left is the stories. I apologize. I have a tendency to be dour sometimes. It is a consequence of being as old as I am. The joys of youth fall apart rather quickly once you have gone past a century of life. Thank you. We elves stop aging after a certain point, and I timed mine appropriate to what I felt would work best. Right. You are new to magic. Elves cannot truly decide when they stop physically aging. I was merely jesting. But it is merely a consequence of the use of our magic. Our magic allows us to transform into an elemental body. Not quite like your situation, but it is permanent in a sense. When one takes on their form for the first time, they destroy their original body. There is no returning to it, and thus they become a pure-bodied element. My element is stone. Once I chose to take on that elemental form, it destroyed all organic tissue in my body, transforming it into magical matter of sorts. I do not appear to be stone because of the nature of the magic. In layman's terms, it recorded the last state that my body had been in before it transformed, allowing me to revert between forms, but preventing me from aging and from falling sick. As delightful as it sounds, it comes at a price. That being watching anyone who is not mortal die. I'm sorry that I've soured the mood again. Is there some way that I could make this feel less... Right. I'd like to establish a dynamic where we are at least amicable as friends. I am quite aware that we are not, but I would prefer to try and make it so rather than referring to you as my ward. Would you have any suggestions on how I would do that for you? Come again? You certainly have a way of gaining others' trust. You're aware that you're asking the Minister of Defense to relay to you a personal secret that he has no reason to believe you will not tell to another person. I suppose you're right. You do have no one to tell. But speak yours first. Oh. I'm sorry to hear about your sister. How did she pass? I see. Oh, I have not used a weapon in a long time. 600 years. No. After I had disappeared, I put down the sword for good. I no longer wish to participate in battles of any kind. I realized that war and battle have steeper costs than I ever had predicted. Even as a knight, there was only a level of awareness that I had to its costs, and I was willing to accept that. I can tell you some other time. Thank you for joining me for dinner. Rest up. We'll discuss your attendance at suite that is soon to come. Good evening.